welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome to my channel. I'm sorry the lighting is very bad and I'm being very quiet. Grayson is somewhat sleeping. So yes, just like my last few videos probably that you have seen, this is the lighting, and I'm sorry, it's really hard to film with him awake. So let's hope you guys can hear me. The lighting is good enough that you guys can see me, which I know you can. But yes, this video I'm going to be talking to you guys all about co-sleeping. I did ask you guys on my Instagram if you guys wanted to see this video, and you guys said yes. So that is what I'm going to do today. I tried to film this once before without writing it all down. Oh my god, was that a disaster? So I wrote everything down on this notebook page, and now I think I'm a little bit more prepared. So let's get right on with the video. So before I do actually get into the video full on, I do want to say that a lot of the stuff is just my personal opinion on things. It will get into why I felt co-sleeping was good for myself. I'm not saying every parent should co-sleep, but some parents do think co-sleeping is better for them despite their situations with their babies. Some babies just have to be co-slept with. Some parents have the option to, like their babies don't care either way where they sleep. Some parents, like myself, kinda have to. So yes, that's just a little warning for y'all. So I'm gonna just basically start with telling the entire story, everything like that, to tell you guys why I decided to start co-sleeping with Grayson. So basically, back when Joey was staying with us, Grayson was doing pretty well sleeping in his crib by himself, and just around 4.5 months, Joey stopped staying around 3.5 months when that's how old Grayson was. Grayson was still doing good sleeping in his crib, but then right around that range of 4.5 months, he started to get this really bad separation anxiety. Now, I'm going to backtrack in this story. When Grayson was first born, he would always sleep on a pillow that had a blanket over it, usually for nap times and stuff. Sometimes during the nighttime too, but then again, I never slept really when he was that young because I was always afraid he was going to be suffocating, choking in his sleep. We did have a pack and play for him, but he never really used it. He just was always uncomfortable in it and just did not feel comfortable at all. So no matter what we tried with that pack and play, he didn't like it. So we did get a crib for him, and he did sleep better in that crib. And then something just switched in him, and he did not like to be away from me. He still doesn't like being away from me. I don't know if it's just a security thing where he does not feel safe unless I'm right there next to him. It's not even just sleeping days. Like sometimes, 9 times out of 10, if I'm even 2 feet away from him, he will throw a fit and cry because he does not feel safe and secure because I'm not right there. Just to top it all off, he's a mama's boy. Let's just put that right out there right now. He's a mama's boy to heart. He doesn't like being away from me 9 times out of 10, like I said. It's very rare when I'm able to have time away from him because he'll sit there and kick and scream. So yeah. But basically, at that time when he started to hate sleeping in his crib because I would be away from him, it was horrendous. It was terrible. We would try everything from giving him oatmeal at night to fill up his tummy because we thought, okay, maybe he's hungry at night, so he's waking up a little more. Tried cereal and stuff at night, didn't work. So we were like, okay, It's not him being hungry. We obviously continued giving him oatmeal. Baths were always at night. Grayson has 2 baths. He has one in the morning and one at night before he goes to bed because he's a very messy baby. So we were like, okay, a nice relaxing bath before bed. Okay, we'll do that. Tried that. We even went as far as getting some sleep time oils. Hold on. This stuff. We gave him this stuff. I still give it to him as of today. This is what the bottle looks like. It's all organic too. So we put that on his neck, his chest, the back of his neck, and on his heels. And the aroma of it that has lavender and like something other that smells really lemony. I don't think it is lemon though. I'm not 100% sure. We tried that and it's supposed to put him to sleep. It helped a little bit, but didn't really do a lot for him. So we were beginning to think, okay, maybe it's teething. So we would give him Tylenol. Yeah, Tylenol worked, but it was to the point where we were using it every night thinking that, okay, it's teething, so just give him some Tylenol, it'll help him with bed. So we were like, okay, it's not his teething, because if it was teething, it would be all day that he's hurting and all night. But it was just nighttime. So at this point, not only myself was super exhausted, but Grayson was exhausted. But he would still fight sleep so bad. It would be all night. He would not crash at all. He'd be up all day, all night, all day, all night. Like, he was starting to not feel good from it. I know I was getting sick because I was never getting any sleep. And I just was getting to the point where I wasn't going to be able to take care of him anymore at the rate he was going. So I said, you know what? Screw it. Let's bring him into bed. And ever since then, he's slept so much better now. So that's basically the story of why I started to co-sleep. It was horrendous. Now, yes, I do understand some parents have it way easier. Babies just naturally are able to sleep in the crib by themselves. Some babies at this age are even able to sleep in their own room by themselves and not have a problem. But for me, it was a lot difficult and a lot more harder than what I could have ever imagined. So now I'm going to get into pros and cons of co-sleeping. So there's a lot more pros than cons. And again, I want to stress this a lot. This is just my personal preference on everything. These are my pros, my cons, completely different from anybody else. Their experience with co-sleeping could be 10 times different. It could be 10 times worse. It could be anything like that. So do keep this in mind again when you're watching this video. So I'm going to get into the pros first. So the first pro is both me and Grayson are sleeping a lot more, which means me and Grayson are both sleeping all night. He sleeps all night long. He doesn't wake up usually. The only times that he really wakes up is if he wants his binky. He doesn't wake up for diaper changes. He doesn't wake up for feedings. None of that. Only for a binky, and then he's back to sleep. Good for me. 9 times out of 10 though, I'm not going to bed until 1 because during the day, I have no time to do any sort of chores or anything, so it's laundry, cleaning up playroom area, everything at that time. The next one is I have a way happier baby now that he is sleeping more. Before, he was so cranky a lot of the times. He still does get cranky and stuff, but he's so much happier, and I'll wake up in the morning and he'll just be smiling and everything. And I do want to stress this enough. There's never a time where Grayson is awake and I don't feel him moving around. Like the second that he moves even a little bit, I'm instantly awake because I sleep lightly. I don't sleep heavy. If I roll, I am always waking myself up in my sleep to roll over, so I'm aware that I'm rolling to make sure that he's not there. So I'm pretty sure a lot of moms have this instinct. You do sleep a lot lighter when you have a baby. Another pro is he feels a lot more safer now because I'm right there. If he has a bad dream, I'm right there. Just anything, he feels 10 times safer having me right there, right next to him, which I really wish his crib was able to hold my weight, because if that was possible, I probably would have been able to lay down there with him and get him to sleep, and then I could just hop right out, go into bed, and so on and so forth. But unfortunately that wouldn't have been able to happen until it turned into like a toddler bed, and at that stage you have to take the rails out and all that stuff, so wouldn't have really worked out for that. So another thing is we have a bigger bond now. Like I said before, like he's always with me, he never wants me to leave, so the bond between me and Grayson has gotten a lot bigger. Like it was big before, but now it seems like it's growing more and more. He trusts me a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, he's trusted me with everything, just it's really hard to explain, honestly. Another thing is now I am not afraid of going to bed, actually. So what I mean by this is I would always kind of like hesitate going to bed because I was always nervous something would happen at night. Now I can go to bed knowing he's right there next to me, and if he's not breathing, I'll know. If he's coughing or choking on something, I'm right there, I'll know. Like when he's in his crib on the other side of my room, there's no guarantee that I'll actually know if he's doing any of that stuff, but now he is right next to me and I'm right there to know if anything is wrong. Another thing is we have a routine now. So now that he is sleeping better, we've gotten on a whole routine throughout the day. And I think that was our hardest part with getting a routine before, was because he was always so cranky from getting no sleep that naps were like all spewing about of the day. We didn't really have a routine for naps or nothing, no feeding schedule, because he was so exhausted. So he would fall asleep one day at one time and then be eating that time the next day and then napping at a different time. Like, but now that he's sleeping at night, everything routine-wise is so much better, and I could not be happier because I actually am waking up at around the same time now, and it feels so good not to be waking up one day at 8 a.m. and the next day after, I almost said midnight, 12 o'clock in the afternoon is what I meant. So that's really, really nice to not be having to be all scatterbrained and having my sleep schedule all wonky. Now it's just nice and refreshing, and I actually feel like I got some sleep. And the last thing, which isn't really something to do with sleeping wise, but there is more room for him to play. I took his crib down and everything, and he has a play area in my room now where there's a mat on the floor, toys all over the floor. Like, it's just a big huge play area, and it's so awesome. He loves playing on it. Sometimes I'll put his bouncer up, but right now it's taken down because he just likes to play on the floor. I might just take his bouncer back upstairs, but he really likes his floor mat. He loves playing with the letters on it. He just loves it. I'm going to tell you guys the one con, and that is I don't have as much space in my bed. So obviously I'm sharing with Grayson, and how he sleeps, he takes up a lot more room than you would think. And you would think for such a little guy, a lot of room wouldn't be taken up, but trust me, a lot of room he takes up. So I'm going to get into the safety of co-sleeping. This is just things that I'm going off of my preference. Again, you are probably going to hear me say that a lot. So if your child is younger, not rolling over and stuff yet, please, I do really recommend having them lay in your armpit area. You will lay on your back all night, so if that gets uncomfortable, I'm sorry, either have them like really close to you at night so you know if they roll or something on accident. Just the littler ones are the one, like the younger babies, like I don't really know, newborns to like 3 months. Those are really where you need to watch. And I know all the people are gonna be like, oh, but what about SIDS and everything? I'm not gonna talk about that. I never had any experience with it or anything, so just do your research on it. That's something I really recommend doing, is doing really good research on SIDS and everything. But I haven't had any worries about it. Make sure there is no cracks or like gaps in your bed. If you're going to co-sleep and it's just you and your baby, your significant other, you don't have a significant other sleeping in bed with you so that the baby could be in the middle or whatnot, I really do recommend pushing your bed up against the wall. As you can see, my bed is up against the wall. I even had a baby railing up on the other side of my bed, but didn't really do much because it's for a toddler bed. But if he even gets close to the wall, the only thing that would happen is his hand would slip, but he doesn't even do that. Like, his head like knocks the wall before he even gets anywhere near the gap in the bed, which it's literally this small, so he can't even get through it or anything. I've made sure my bed is pushed all the way up against the wall, so if he rolls or anything, he's not falling off the bed or anything. And obviously if he gets up and is crawling around, I'm instantly awake, so he can't fall off the bed on the other side, which is good. No pillows. So in my bed, I have a body pillow up against my bed frame in the back, and then 2 pillows on each side. So on Grayson's side, I have a very, very thin pillow up against the body pillow, and then I have a thicker one that's laying on top of both the small one and the big one, if that makes sense. Not how like pillows would normally be, but like actually sitting on top of them. So here's the one that's up against the body pillow, it's actually on top, and that kind of makes like a box, kind of like, if you know what I'm talking about with the whole thing, because you have your pillows that are normal, the one little one, okay, so I don't really know how to explain this. Your 2 pillows are here, his is right here, the other one's up top, so there's like a little box like thing. That's basically where Grayson sleeps, and Grayson sleeps sideways, believe it or not. He doesn't sleep the way that you're supposed to sleep in a bed. He 9 times out of 10 sleeps sideways. I can put him to bed the right way, and by morning time he is sideways. He does roll to his sides in his sleep. Some nights he'll sleep on his stomach. So blankets, this is the next thing I'm going to get into. Grayson has his own small blanket. Now, if your baby is like Grayson, Grayson's very smart with blankets. Grayson's always been smart with blankets from the very beginning. He's known how to keep it away from his face. If it's up in his face, he knows how to pull it down away from his face. Like, he's just always been that way. So if you do plan to have a baby sleep with a blanket, just be careful. You can even swaddle them in a blanket. Grayson just has to have a blanket with him at all times to be able to sleep. He like cuddles with it and everything, so that's just kind of like a security thing. So I'm not going to take it away or anything. He's perfectly fine. I've had no problems with it. He's really good with it. So just for your preference of your baby, figure out what's best for them with blankets. I know a lot of people are like, oh, don't let them sleep with blankets, they'll suffocate, but some babies are just how the way that they have to be with blankets. It's nothing you could really do about it. And the last thing to talk about really is if you have long hair. Even me myself, I throw my hair up, whether it's a ponytail or a messy bun or something. I always throw it up so that he's not going to get a hold of it or suffocate on it or anything. So yeah, I just changed the lighting a little bit, so bear with me. But anyways guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye guys.